Do you give voluntary consent to the recording and publication of our interview?
Yes.
Yes. Let's talk. Communicate so that I understand who I am dealing with here, as they say. And to understand that, let's probably start with what unit?
Unit Moscow Regiment 1431, Military Unit 95371. That's it. Mostly recruited from Moscow and the Moscow region. That's it. And of course, humans came. We left Domodedovo ourselves. About 60 of us left. Yes, 60 people, around 60 people from Domodedovo. Well, and then, of course, everyone stayed together. You could see all 2 years together, all mobilized. There were only a few contractors, and even those appeared at the end.
So, are you mobilized?
I'm mobilized, second year.
You've been fighting for a very long time, it
We are
turns out.
fighting on the second line. It's so happened that now, since 2024, we have been on the first line.
Tell me everything. When exactly were you mobilized?
I was mobilized during the first mobilization of the Moscow region on September 22, 2022 by humans, naturally at home after my brother's death. My mother was left alone. I had to choose between prison or war, and there was no point anymore.
Do you think how long they would have put you away if it had come to
Well,
that?
back then, I think, as they say, there were fines. You can get away with a fine.
You could get away with a fine.
Yes, you could. Well, I somehow came to the military enlistment office with this humans already, and so it turned out that I still choose probably the wrong side. Better, I think.
Well, you're saying this now so that we hear it here. I, in particular, heard it.
I think not. I think it's better to give advice. It seems to me better in prison than in reality, than in this war. Because in these 2 years I saw only what I saw.
What did you see? Well, tell me.
I saw turned bodies, all of that, in these 6 months. That's it. I've seen enough of this horrors already. I didn't want to. That is, to look at all this. Yeah.
And how was it, turn bodies?
Well,
Let's go by directions and by your chronology.
Well, the directions were such that when they carried out the dead, that was the case.
Were you in vacation?
I
What
was in
direction?
vacation, yes. It's one we stood for a year, not a year, a little less than a year in one direction, Kharkiv direction, the village of Pervomayskaya.
Pervomayskaya.
Pervomayskaya, yes, it's Kharkiv region.
Pervomayskaya.
Pervomayskaya, whoever called this village what...
Well, good. So, you stood there for almost a year, and what happened
yes.
there?
Well, arrivals mostly kamikaze drone, arrivals also, and...
An evacuation of your
An
own.
evacuation of our own, yes.
Did you carry out many bodies?
Well, 3 for sure.
Yeah, 3.
Yes.
Almost in a year, 3?
Yes.
One might think that in a year you carried 3 corpses. That are we even talking
Well,
about?
Somehow like that.
And many were left behind. You couldn't carry them out.
Yes. Many remained, of course, on the positions, and so they stayed there.
This, I understand, was really your second line, right? That is, you didn't participate in
We
assaults.
didn't participate in assaults.
Not in storms, but in assaults.
Assaults, yes.
Were not at sea.
Yes.
What did you do besides evacuation?
We dug positions, well, mostly we had digging, we dug in.
Uh-huh.
We dug in for defense.
Uh-huh.
That's it. We didn't have assaults as such. Well, we dug in.
You dug.
We dug, yes.
You dug.
All 2 years, naturally, we dug.
2 years digging.
Well, of course, there was these exercises we should sometimes there.
So you say turn bodies, and where did you see turn bodies?
In Pervomayskaya, well, on the positions that were there.
Like during evacuations?
During evacuation, yes.
Ah. Got it. Unpleasant, right?
Very unpleasant.
Is there any romance?
no romance at all. I tell you, I don't know who needs this war.
No, well, they do romanticize war. There our heroes returned and did something there.
No, there are no heroes here.
Tell me, please, for example, I have been communicating with prisoners for 3 years with people like you now. Have you never come across my videos?
No, not once. I'm not really into the internet and
Why?
YouTube.
Why weren't you interested? You could have known all this in advance. Even by September.
By September, there were also very patriotic programs on Russia TV
Yes.
channels. Such news like guys are going to fight, guys are great. Yes,
Our boys.
yes, guys are great, guys all...
Why fight? Against whom? What for?
In these 2 years, I understood one thing. This is a senseless war in which there are neither winners nor losers. What this war was needed for, no one understands, in fact.
About winners and losers is actually a very philosophical topic.
Yes, because it will be still end with some peace negotiations, and the fact that many guys remain there, whether they will be remembered or not.
The question here is simply what constitutes a victory for one of the sides. For example, we know for sure that a victory for your Putin, for instance, would be the complete conquest of Ukraine. Complete capture of Ukraine, change of power, and full control over this territory. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone to Kiev. Do you know that your troops started with an invasion of Kiev?
Well, I know that there was an invasion of Ukraine, yes,
To
the invasion.
Kiev, to Chernihiv, to Sumy, to Kharkiv, they went in all directions and even almost reached Kiev, standing within Kiev. Don't you know this? And you? You know?
I know.
Where from?
Yes. Yes, mostly by hearsay from
By
soldiers.
heresy. And what did they say?
When I was lying in the hospital, many mobilized told me that they even stood there.
Stood near Kiev.
Yes.
And they told that too?
They say they stood, nothing happened, they were told to roll back.
Did they tell you how they looted houses there?
There was none of that. They say that when they were told to roll back, they received a rebuff and were shot in the back. That's all according to the words of these people. They didn't say anything more.
You know what the matter is? If explained in children's language, for those who stood right next to it, started receiving a rebuff. Then when they realized that everyone would receive a rebuff and there would be tens of thousands of prisoners, they urgently began to withdraw troops. Naturally, ours began to catch up with those who stood on right next to it, but further. Well, yes, and those also came under fire. If they hadn't done this, they wouldn't have had logistics. They cut off their logistics. That is, they couldn't bring food, ammunition, or anything at all. If they hadn't started running away, then yes, they would all have been disposed of there. That's how it was. But I'm not about that. What consider a victory? If Putin attacked our country, and you're all under his command with the goal of taking over this country, which is obvious, but he didn't accomplish a damn thing. Where's the victory here?
You know, Vladimir, I'm not a politician, of course.
This is not politics.
Assert much.
Why do we need this politics?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. This is a political question. I think politicians themselves, where is victory, where is the loser, where is the defeated side? Well, I don't see either a losing or a defeated side.
This will not be done by politics. This will be done by your Solovyovs and Skabieva, who will tell how this is a victory, that's how your people should accept it. Do you understand?
People have
There
different
is, of
views.
course, there will be no total victory here.
No.
I, for example, believe that our victory lies in the fact that we basically held all this back. They held off an army that outnumbered them by a factor of 10 in terms of both manpower and equipment and in every other respect. They dispelled the myth of the invincible Russian army, the second strongest army in the world. And the fact that they are just so cool over there, and all those parades of yours on Red Square, you'll probably watch them with a slightly different perspective from now on. The army shown on Red Square, the one in which you fought.
I don't know, no, well, of course not like that, but... not like that, yes, I agree.
Well, there everyone is cool, right? Like,
Of course, but this is really...
some kind of pride should appear.
But that's really just for show, it's obvious, isn't it?
Well, there the situation itself is different. There is like a parade, a show, and here is no longer a show.
There should arise a question as a result. Why do we need all these shows and parades and such cool ones if in reality they attacked a country that is many times smaller in size, population, and armament and still received a rebuff?
In the sense that on TV, of course, yeah, they show everything perfectly, everything looks demonstrative. In fact, those who haven't been here probably wouldn't understand what is really happening.
Well, tell from yourself so that they understand, maybe. Let's try.
What? Well, there are no such colorful impressions from the explosions or anything else.
Colorful impressions from explosions.
Well, I don't know.
Only a
well,
little
just
ringing in the ears, right?
a little bit is very strong. Kid ringing, of course. 1 year still probably doesn't hear a little. I will say one thing. There is nothing to do in this war. And this war is not needed by anyone.
If your whole story about your 2 years of war from the time of mobilization is that you're generally one of such lucky types.
Very much, very much. I honestly say.
Agree, right?
I agree already.
Which somehow managed to be mobilized on September 22nd and somehow survive until 25th. Thanks God. Yes, this is an exceptional case. If all you can tell about your time on the territory of Ukraine, is
No, I actually... Well, what else to tell? I don't even know.
Well, tell me like a movie. Could a movie be made about your story or not? What do you think?
You know, I don't remember much now, very vaguely, of course, but I... thinking it's... I don't even know. A bad movie.
Bad, crappy. Let's try crappy. Well, tell the screenwriter the script for your movie.
Well, I wanted, of course, starting with my second vacation. I had a second vacation that year. I wanted, yeah, not to come back after that, because that was it. I was already sick of all this whole situation and everything like that. That's it. But again, mother is alone, and I didn't want to go to prison, nor there. Somehow it goes, somehow it turns. But that's how it turned out. Yes.
Yevgeny, did you receive a salary?
Yes, I received a
How
salary.
much?
200,000.
200,000?
Yes.
Have you ever received a salary of 200,000?
No.
You see, you like everything. You stood, in fact, in the rear
In the
part.
rear part, yes.
And 200,000
Yes.
flow to your mother's
Yes.
card every month. Did your mother like
Of course,
this
yes. She
arrangement?
liked it.
You like this
Yes.
arrangement? Well, therefore, when you went on leave, you also received some leave pay. There are probably bonuses. In short, this 200,000 a month were more than enough for you.
Yes.
You didn't want to return anywhere. Everything suited you, in fact.
Well, on the one hand, somehow yes. On the other hand, somehow yes and no. It's somehow...
Yes and no.
Well, on the one hand, I needed to help my mother, and I didn't want to go there. Well, here I mean to war.
Helping your mother is a sacred
Yes.
thing. Find yourself
Yes.
a job, help your mother.
Yes.
And you couldn't find one, so you went to war.
Yes, it turns out so.
Well, then why are you telling me this fairy tale? Like, I didn't want to, but I came. I didn't want to, but I came. I didn't want to, but I turned out, and I went. You wanted to do all this. You consciously did
I
all
went,
this.
yes, but this, it turns out from the second leave, I already went because of money. Possibly, and so...
You went on the
Because-
first leave. You had 2 leaves this year.
No, this year I... During
No,
the time
in general,
I
during
spent,
the time
I
spent on
had
the territory of
2
Ukraine.
leaves.
2 leaves.
2 leaves.
You came on the first, went back, came on the second, went
Yes.
back.
Yes.
Well,
Well, in the first year, it turned out we each took 6 months off, but for the second, of course, yes, there were delays, very big delays. Also, they promised leaves every 6 months, but it didn't happen. Only after 2 years I went on the second leave. That is somehow to say.
Somehow to say you kind of didn't like everything, kind of everything was bad, but the money was dripping, it suited you very much.
Yes, that's
Why this war you don't understand, but helping to kill people is very possible if money is dripping, such roughly a scam, I don't know.
No, in these 2 years I didn't hit anyone, I didn't even see a single
Look,
Ukrainian.
You can say a thousand times that you didn't hit anyone, didn't kill anyone, didn't fire a single shot once. What you did, your actions were aimed at helping the occupying Russian army.
If we take it in general, yes.
Well, you didn't harm them, you helped, right?
It turns out yes.
Did you understand that? Did you understand that there
Yes.
is a war going on, that people are dying, that one
Yes.
country attacked another? Did you
It
understand?
turns out yes.
Let's remove the word "it turns out." It has become some kind of trigger. I will just ask, did you understand?
Yes.
Yes. Without "it turns out." Well, that's all what is there to talk about. Then let's talk honestly without any attempts at self-justification.
I honestly answer what's and how it is.
How did you get captured?
It got captured, there were numerous drops from drones. There were numerous drops. I was confused, it turns out.
And you stood in the same place in the Pervomayska as before?
Where before there is a position, it turns out a position, and I was confused. There was a very strong loss of consciousness. I didn't even understand what. I raised my hands because there was no one near me. It was dark. I saw a drone. I followed the drone. I raised my hands without a weapon, without a bulletproof vest, and followed the drone. It led me to the Ukrainian position.
Did you walk long?
They were flying from one side and the other, of course, about an hour.
An hour. Well, an hour is about 3-4
Not
kilometers.
even an hour. No, not an hour. Yes, but they changed drones regularly. That is, one accompanied me, then another
I
drone
understand
accompanied
this is
me.
simply an attack by our drone separators. This is without infantry.
There was no battle at all, and no
This is
infantry,
a
nothing.
class in general. This is super. This is the highest level when there are no losses. And you stood alone in this position.
No, there were 3 of us there. There were 3 of us, yes. There were the other 2 went, I can honestly say. That is, then when I was already captured, the guys there also seemed to look, but they didn't see them.
So, in principle, it's clear. Did you see Nazis?
No, I didn't see Nazis.
NATO members?
No.
And how did you fight? In general, you signed a contract. The motivation for signing the contract is unique. You rarely hear it. Did you really want to be a military man?
Yes. Well, I see.
What, dad is a military man, mom is a military woman?
Dad
Who?
was a military man, yes.
Dad is a military man.
Yes.
Do you have children? Married?
I don't have.
Not married.
I have a girlfriend, but no wife
And
yet.
do you have children?
No.
Also no.
Girlfriend,
Not married.
not married, no children.
Well, girlfriend is understandable. You wanted to be a military man, you wanted to get a
Yes.
crust. How do you feel about your actions now?
An idiot. Well, there are harsher words.
Not necessarily, I understand. So you say in principle you saw my videos before?
Shorts came across on YouTube when you scroll, like TikTok.
Shorts.
Not full ones.
You didn't go to the full normal video and didn't
Completely
watch
no.
it?
Why?
Why?
Didn't go to the channel itself, but somehow didn't watch it completely. I don't even know why, just
Well, you kind of didn't believe it. You thought it was all
well,
an act,
not
right?
everything. Not everything.
Not everything.
There were just some passages like that, relatives arguing, saying things like, you're not a real, and stuff like that.
Well, there is such a thing.
There is a swearing between relatives.
Well, this is what is generally impossible to fake. Okay, you can still fake it with you in theory. This is, I don't know, you need to conduct preliminary conversations with each, what you should say, what you shouldn't. And
such
with
came across.
relatives, it's generally impossible. Well, we just called, now we will call. Well, how can I fake the fact that, for example, with your
No,
mother
I-
we cannot
I
correspond?
myself don't know why it happened like that.
We can try to dial.
And there most likely there will be no
I
point
think
because
so, in fact. And why? Doesn't she want to see her son?
I don't know. Maybe
She accepted the message.
maybe she didn't believe it.
Or maybe she's afraid.
Maybe. Only what is there for her to be
Well,
afraid
the
of?
comrade major will come, put her in prison because she talked to an Ukrainian and Ukrainians are Nazis. Well, that's how you think in reality.
No, I don't think she's afraid of that, and I don't think she'll be put in prison for an ordinary conversation.
Yes, I think so too. But I'm not her and you aren't either. We don't know what she wants.
I don't know what.
Well, your mother, she's very patriotically inclined. Dad is a military man.
I don't know. Honestly, I never talked to her about politics.
Got it. Also, on the other hand, what does patriotic mean in this context? Being patriotic is normal, but a patriot is someone who loves their own country. A patriot wants what's best for their country, not what's worst. And what Putin did, and this whole war makes your country only worse too. And nothing has become better. A bunch of sanctions, the economy is suffering.
Well, I wouldn't talk about sanctions. In fact, they didn't damage anything so much. Well, about the economy, I don't know.
And how do you argue that they didn't affect much?
For example, many products that were banned in Russia, companies there just changed their names and still trade.
There was McDonald's, became Вкусная точка.
Well, no, seems to me is a different company. Rostix, KFC became Rostix.
Well,
there are
do
a
you
lot of
think
products.
KFC lost quality?
I don't know.
Or McDonald's, which became Вкусная точка, lost?
I think no.
And, for example, Volkswagen, which left, do you think buying a Volkswagen is normal or better to buy a Lada?
I think buying a Volkswagen will, of course, be better than a Lada.
Let's get back to your journey. So, you signed the contract. You really wanted to be a strong, tough soldier. Well, what next? When did this happen?
This is October 22nd. I signed. October 23rd, they sent me.
What year?
2024.
2024. So, where were you sent?
I went, it turns out, to Yurgu by train. I spent 4 or 5 days there. From there, they took us by bus to Novosibirsk. And from Novosibirsk, we flew by plane to Rostov. From Rostov, they put us on buses. We drove for a very long time without even knowing where we were going. When we arrived, we were taken to some dugouts. There they gave us clothes, checked our documents and tattoos, and took photos of everyone. And after that, they sent us to the training ground. I spent 2 days at the training ground. From there, they sent me to the location. They took me. That is after I landed in Rostov. Within 3-4 days, I was already crossed the line.
And what did they teach you there at the training ground?
I was at this training ground for 2 days. One day I just spent the night there. They showed me where you are, what and how, and somewhere 2-3 hours I spent at the training ground in total. In 2-3 hours I didn't learn anything. They immediately told us that you won't spend much time here. You will go to the location and there you will already go to your training grounds. There they will train you and all that.
Huh. Well, yes, then you went further.
Then I went to the location, the same one where I lived. There they took us to training grounds. For me, the training ground was short. It turns out I arrived at the location on October 26th or 27th. And on November 10th, I already went to Solidovo. You could say it was a combat mission to find the location of the KMP for soldiers where they will live and command. I spent 5 days there. Then I came back and started going to training grounds again. At the training ground, mostly tactics, shooting, exercises using Alpine quests, clearing trenches, dugouts, mostly shooting. Medicine was present. Work with drones in terms of how to hide, how they work, what cameras and all that. After that, I had a second task. There it turns out.
Why did they give you such tasks in general? To go somewhere to find something? Are you a major, captain?
No, as a scout.
Were you a scout?
Yes.
Why were you assigned to scouts?
They just came to the dugout, asked who wants to go to the reconnaissance. I said me, because I didn't have the desire to go to assault troopers.
Uh-huh.
And the chances of
You
surviving...
already figured it out then,
I already
right?
understood that I would not be in the rear, and I would not be twisting bolts. I immediately understood that that's it. What I wanted, it wouldn't be anymore. And it turns out on the second task we arrived in Solidove, to the same KMP that we found. I spent almost 2 weeks there, just doing nothing, sitting on the gate, guarding the entrance, guarding the command. I sat for days, and then it turns out on December 4th, they said, get ready at night and go. They will take you to the point. From there you will throw forest belts, well, to assault. Also, they say the reconnaissance would not assault, that it does not participate in assault. They have other tasks. I understood that the matter smelled of fried, and that's it. This, you could say, is finita la commedia. Well, we went. At night we walked to the point. We only reached closer to morning. Before the assault and shootout, I didn't even reach. They threw drops at us at a certain point. I received a wound in the right foot. I sat in the dugout for 5 hours under mortar explosions and drops and all that. And then they gave us a rollback as the 3 people with whom we entered they said to go back. They brought me back and took me to the hospital. I spent the months there. So, on December 7th, I was already in the hospital. On January 1st, they sent me back to my unit. I was discharged. I spent until 8 a.m. traveling between various hospitals just as a stopover. Then, at 8 a.m., I arrived at the base and spent 2 days there. One day I went to the training ground. They put me there so I could memorize information for people and teach them something at the training ground in the future. And they sent us. It turns out on the 10th we already went on another combat mission. And there on the 10th we arrived. I also had the task to find the KMP. I was in the village of Zolkin, in the village of Novopystinka, village Novopystinskaya, village Novovasilievska, village Solena, and village Uspenovka.
So, what did you do there?
In the village of Zolty, we mostly just ran through it, passed, and it was already captured. Novopustinka was also captured, but we didn't find anything there.
And what were you looking for there?
The room, basement, building, house were to settle people, so that they live there before the task begins. And in Novotroitskaya we found a basement, building, room, where they settle people, they live there. Then it turns out on the 17th, 18th, they sent me to Novovasilievka to look for the wounded and those who did not make contact. When I entered there, I saw that there was horror in general, complete.
What do you mean?
A lot of corpses, everything is destroyed, almost no buildings. The first already, for example, is completely wiped out, you could say. I found only 7 people. Of them, I found a basement, settled there with him. It took a whole day to find them. We went through all the houses. At night we arrived there, and only the next night I left from there. And even with one person, the others were told to leave for now, they will be taken. I came back to Novotroitsk under drone fire. It was dangerous at night, the Baba Yaga was flying around, and they sent me out right away. I got there quickly at 15 minutes worth of porridge, smoked a couple of cigarettes, and they sent me straight out on another mission, to reach the village of Selena.
Were you walking alone?
No, 3 of us. They sent us 3.
And you were like the senior?
I was leading. I was good at maps, I lead. And we reached again. I came already almost in the morning, 4 in the morning. We reached the village of Selena early in the light, early morning. On the road, a vampire drone flew at us. One of ours, I understand, was killed, because the 2 of us had already made it to the right spot where our people met us. We set up camp there. I slept that day, and then, as night was falling, we were told to go to the village of Uspenovka. They sent us there. Me, another scout, and an assault trooper who was already there received a shrapnel wound from a drop, and they rolled him back. But not to the hospital. They turned us away because the wound was minor. A small piece of shrapnel had gone right through. So we set off at night, walking through the wooded area to reach the village of Uspenovka. There you need to pass, it turns out, a small open field. There is a swamp, the Solena River, and again a field. It turns out we entered the field, only entered the swamp. Baba Yaga flew. I don't know what she dropped, but something heavy. The first drop hit my 2 colleagues. They were killed immediately. I was wounded and thrown back 2 meters. The second drop was also on them. I was already concussed. I heard poorly, understood, didn't think to go back, but went, it turns out, only forward to the sounds of shots, because there was a shootout in the village. And I almost drowned. I got completely wet through. I left the machine gun in this river, armor, helmet too. Well, I lost everything and went to the village, where I spent 4 days wounded. I drank and found a ration bar, the kind they give to your soldiers. A bottle of water, and that's all. As a result, on January 24th, 2025, in the morning, I came out of the basement, crawled out, and your people from the same house, neighbors, came out to me and,
So?
took me prisoner.
They took you prisoner. Did you see NATO members, Nazis?
No way, I didn't see any. I didn't even see Ukrainians until the moment of capture.
And what are the impressions?
Good people. Well, at least on the front line they were.
Well, then they asked you a little, interrogated you.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Anyway, let's put your mom's number in, Evgeny, and try calling
It's
her.
just that my mom has WhatsApp. WhatsApp.
It's all the same to me,
+7.
+7.
Because I see here all the missing are already declared as if there are people.
And that's why I'm trying to get through to you, so that you're at least recorded as
Yes.
prisoners.
So at least something.
So that what?
Well, at least something moves because prisoners of war.
To get home.
Yes, and go to
Yes.
get home.
Good afternoon. Put the phone in front of you. My name is Vladimir. I'm a journalist from Ukraine. Your son is in our captivity. Do you know about this?
I know that he is in captivity.
You know. From where?
I know, yes. His friends wrote to me.
France, right? Yes?
How he is alive, healthy.
Well, I don't know. Will you talk to him?
Yes, if possible.
Yeah, the conversation is recorded for publication.
Hello, Mom, hi.
Son, how could this be?
Well, that's how it is, Mom. Mom, well, don't cry. Everything is fine.
I already have severe stress.
Mom, don't cry. Everything is fine. Yes, everything is fine. Everything
How
is
is it
good.
fine if you're in captivity? Well, how could this be? You would dig and dig trenches. Well, God, well, why did you do that?
Mom, well, it's not my fault. It's the fault that they say. I have already understood a lot here that everyone is to blame, as they say. That is, it's only you won't find the guilty ones anymore.
Silverhead.
Okay, Mom, that's it. Don't worry with me. Mom, don't worry. I'm fine with everything. I'm in a prisoner of war camp.
Well,
That's it.
You asked him several times, how could this be? How could this be? How could this be? Well, how could this be? And how else does it happen if you send a person to war?
We didn't send him. He received as humans to war.
Well,
What mother will send her son to war?
what did you understand where he was going?
What? No mother will send her son to war.
He returned home on leave twice, and twice he went back to war. Twice.
Because it's not allowed. That's it, not allowed.
How not allowed?
Not allowed either to prison or to
So
war.
what is better, prison or to die?
Everything is fine. Both prison and to die.
Everything is fine.
Better at home, better at home, better at home.
Tell your mother, could he have died?
Yes, Mom, as they say also into captivity, no one expected that I would get captured, because it was very, in fact, very hard. And I can even say not for the whole country.
Could he have died?
Of course, I will say thank you. I will say thank you to those people who lead me out, who sent drones for me, which periodically changed, who simply lead me out. I don't know how I was able to get out like that, but I got out to the guys. Even if not but I got out to the Ukrainians. And so it turned out that I was captured, but I don't regret it. On the contrary, I want to say thank you for what happened. Because it is very scary, it is very terrible. That's all. Okay, Mom, we already need to finish, otherwise we also have lunchtime already, otherwise we will miss
Let
lunch.
me kiss you. I kiss you. Hold on.
That's all.
Hold
I
on.
love you very much too. Yes, that's
I'm
all.
waiting for you home.
That's all. Goodbye.
I'm waiting
Bye-bye.
home.
Yes. Bye. That's all. Good. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Yes, otherwise this. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, I'm here in principle to get you out of captivity.
I didn't want to. You see yourself that Mom is very emotional and now...
Do you think I like to watch tears, these emotions?
Well, I'm about the same.
You know how many Ukrainian mothers lost their children because
I
people
agree.
like you came here at all? One in order to satisfy his interest, the second because he received as humans. Do you understand at all what is happening?
I already
Yes.
understood.
You're murderers and accomplices of murders if we speak directly to you.
Directly, yes.
That's all. Recommend to your fellow countrymen to go to war. It's so cool here and all that, telling two words each from yourself.
No, as a second-year fighter, I can say one thing, that there is nothing to do here, and war is very bad.
You don't need to go here. It's not worth it at all. Nothing is worth that they say there.
Last question. How many chances out of 100 to fight at least a year and survive?
In my opinion, 5%, no more.
Imagine you got into this 5% somehow.
I got into units in general, 2 years.
Even this, I don't know.
I don't know, they told me that too. They tell me I just got into units.
Yes, that's how it is. How many chances do you think to fight a year and survive?
10%, I think a little more.
And to survive and remain intact?
0.5.
0.5. Take yourself better 0.5 and sit at home.
It would be better.
Yes?
I agree.